The story of Saint Thomas of Villanova, born in 1488 in Fuenterrabía, Spain, was a member of the Augustinian Order and became known for his profound charity, humility, and dedication to the poor. His life and work serve as an inspiring example of selflessness and devotion to God and his people. Early life and education. Thomas was born to a noble family, but he grew up with a deep sense of compassion for the poor. His early education showed great promise, and he was sent to the University of Alcalá to study. He was an excellent student and showed a particular talent for theology. However, in his heart, Thomas felt a calling to something greater. He was drawn to religious life, and at the age of 18, he entered the Augustinian Order. Thomas believed that God was calling him to a life of prayer, poverty, and service to the poor. Upon joining the Augustinians, he dedicated himself to a life of humility, taking vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. He spent several years in prayer and study, gaining wisdom that would later help him serve others. Ministry as a priest. After completing his studies, Thomas was ordained a priest. His humility, piety, and deep love for the poor made him well suited for a life of service to others. He was known for his heartfelt sermons, teaching others to live lives of compassion, charity, and faith. He spent much of his time working with the poor, the sick, and those in need. Thomas became the prior of the Augustinian community in Valencia, Spain, where he was later named the Archbishop of Valencia. Despite his noble position, Thomas remained humble. He was known for his extreme simplicity, living a life of austerity. He was deeply concerned for the welfare of the poor in his community and worked tirelessly to provide for their needs. His charity and service to the poor. As Archbishop of Valencia, Saint Thomas of Villanova is most remembered for his charitable work. He used his position to provide for the poor, ensuring they were not forgotten. Thomas spent much of his personal wealth on helping those in need, giving alms and organizing food and shelter for the hungry. His heart was filled with compassion, and he was especially concerned about the plight of children and orphans. Saint Thomas established schools and hospitals, as well as a charitable foundation for the care of the needy. He worked to provide education to the poor, believing that every person, no matter their social status, deserved a good education. His charity extended beyond just giving money. He personally visited the poor and spent time with them, always offering words of comfort and encouragement. Humility and prayer. Thomas was known for his deep life of prayer. He spent long hours in the silence of the chapel, connecting with God. He also had a deep devotion to the Eucharist, seeing it as the source of his strength and guidance. Despite his significant role in the Church, Thomas never lost sight of the importance of humility. His life was a model of selfless service, and he constantly sought to serve others, especially the most marginalized in society. He once said, "The love of Christ is the only reason why I do everything." This profound statement summarized his approach to life, as he saw every act of kindness and charity as an expression of God's love for the world. Legacy. Saint Thomas of Villanova passed away on September 8, 1555. His death was mourned deeply by the people of Valencia, who had benefited greatly from his kindness and generosity. His example of humility, charity, and deep faith continues to inspire people around the world today. In 1658, over a century after his death, Pope Alexander VII beatified Thomas, recognizing his extraordinary virtues. He was canonized by Pope Alexander VIII in 1703, and he is now the patron saint of Valencia. Conclusion. Saint Thomas of Villanova is remembered not just for his service as a priest and archbishop but also for his dedication to the poor and his profound humility. His life serves as a reminder that greatness in the eyes of God is measured not by wealth, power, or status, but by one's capacity for love, compassion, and selflessness. Through his works and his life of prayer, Saint Thomas of Villanova left behind a legacy of love, humility, and devotion to others that continues to inspire people of faith today.